Hi guys, thanks again for joining me on my wood turning section of my YouTube channel. What I'm going to do over the next few videos is review some of the wood turning tools that I use and some of the items and bits and bobs I use on the lathe. Hopefully, maybe this information might help you to stop you from making the same mistakes I've made, and hopefully maybe save you $1 or £1 or so. Over the last 10 years I've bought a lot of equipment, some of it very expensive that gets used very infrequently, and some of it that was quite cheap that I use very frequently. Anyway, let's get on. First thing I'm going to mention is life centres. This is a life centre that came with my lathe, my Jet/Powermatic 3520B. It's a copy of the One Way life centre, may actually be made by One Way, I don't know. It's a cracking piece of kit. To take comes, I mean, usually when you buy a lathe they come with a fairly cheap, nasty life centre. This thing is a cracking piece of kit. The bearings are smooth as silk. It weighs, it's quite weighty. It's got to weigh a pound, maybe £1.5 there, easy. The cone comes off that you can see, the 60-degree cone comes off, and you're left with the cup centre like what is on the One Way. As I say, it's to say it came free with the lathe, it's a brilliant life centre. I don't tend to use it. I've maybe used it a couple of times. It's not that it's no good, it's just that I use other life centres that are maybe a little bit more, I don't know, they do more things than this, let's say. Right, moving on. The next one is the Axon Power Tool life centre. Bearings are smooth. They have developed a tiny bit of play. This thing wasn't cheap. I think it was about £50–60, and to say there's play in the bearings, and you know, when you're paying that kind of money, it does come. The advantage of it is that it comes with various different heads, attachments you can put in the front. It comes with these two bars which let you which don't seem to want to come off now. Oh, there we go. It's a little bit awkward, but they let you swap out the heads. You can then interchange with various other heads. There's a small point for doing smaller stuff. There's a cone centre. If you were doing small spindle work, that could be of use. There's a cup centre there. That actually does get quite a lot of use. There's the normal 60-degree centre there. And then lastly, there's a mini faceplate that fits in. I haven't really used that very much, but you know, for miniature stuff, if you're doing miniature stuff, that could come in handy. It does actually come with a screw which you can then place in the back of it, and there you've got a miniature screw chuck. So it's very adaptable. This life centre, its biggest draw is its adaptability with having all these interchangeable parts. It's a great life centre, but it has got a tiny little bit of play in it. That's the only downside to it. Right, moving on. Let's bob this to one side. moving on, we have the Robert Sorby Steb Life Centre. Basically, for you guys that are familiar with the Steb Centre, basically this is a Steb Centre with some bearings rammed up its backside and a 2MT taper. These things I do use. At first I bought this, the larger one. I think it's 7/8 of an inch, this one. Which I used, but I realised the mistake I'd made when I first got it. You know, if you're doing small spindle work, unfortunately you can't really do smaller than 7/8, you know. So that's a good tip. Don't buy the larger ones. The one you need to buy is the 1/4 inch one. Basically this 1/4 inch, it'll let you put a spindle on up to, you know, down to a 1/4 inch, but then again it'll handle humongous great pieces of wood. The bearings are super smooth, and I do mean super silky smooth. These are some of the smoothest bearings I've ever felt, ever. Being Robert Sorby, they're not cheap, but then again the name says it all. Robert Sorby, you know, it's quality, really is good quality, made in Sheffield, which is approximately 11 miles away from where I live. So, you know, they're only 10 minutes up the road away from me. Fantastic life centre, highly recommend these guys, brilliant. Right, moving on to the other side, drive centres. I have got loads of different drive centres, and basically the ones that get the most use is these Steb centres. I think this is 1 1/4 inch one, the largest one they do. A brilliant drive centre. I also have the smaller one, 7/8 I do believe. They're a really good drive centre, and the advantage is if you do get a catch, it'll just spin. It'll spin on the teeth rather than fly off the lathe. Don't get me wrong, the old 4-prong drives do have the place. I mean, I still use them. I have got a 4-prong drive that's 2.5 inch in diameter, which I use. In fact, I've got an even bigger one from One Way. It's humongous. It's about 4 inch across, that fits in the One Way stronghold chuck. As I say, the 4 prongs do have a use, but generally these are the ones I reach for. Again, not cheap, but quality. They do have a spring-loaded centre pin, so you can put as much bite as you want on those teeth. If you're just learning, you can just barely have them biting. If you're confident turner, you can have them fully in there. Great bit of kit. Right, I'm going to round this particular video up, and next video we're going to be looking at some turning tools, I think. I hope you'll join me for that. Right, stick with it. Catch you later.